Sorry it's been so long, and I apologize for this taking so long. Sam, what we've got here is a Burt ball spline transmission. I bought it used at a good price. Make sure you get the coupler, and it'll accommodate an IMCA bell housing, standard bell housing, and everything will work just fine. But the first thing you want to do when you get these things, it was told to me that the clutches in this were pretty fresh, one season on them, and that's fine. But the first thing you want to do is drain all the fluid out of this thing. Second thing you want to do, this was a Gen 1, and the Gen 2, basically there's a couple differences. First difference is the shifters. The Gen 1 has two shifting forks. The Gen 2 just has one. And then the second difference is back here at the ball spline yoke. The ball spline carrier plate, it has a seal that goes on it, and it doesn't have grease zerks. So you have to take the plate off and pack grease in there every time you need to grease it. That's the second thing you want to do when you get one of these things used, is take this thing apart and inspect the ball bearings on there, because this thing was dry as a bone. Probably maybe been greased once or twice. I don't know if it ever been greased. There didn't appear to be much in there, just dust. So I figured it was a good time to update it. So what we have here now is what you would, I suppose, consider a Gen 1.5. It's got the two shifting forks, and it's got the plate, the rear plate on the back of the ball spline carrier that has grease zerks in it. There's 3 grease zerks. You want to take one of them out and shoot grease in one of the other 2 that are left. And then when you see grease coming out of this hole, then you're done. Put the zerk back together and carry on. You don't have to disassemble it. But if you get yourself a Gen 1, the first thing you're going to have to do is take that apart to do the modification. You need to get a puller, okay, and then put your puller on the yoke and pull that yoke off. You got to take the bolt out first, of course, but get that yoke pulled off. Be careful because the yoke's aluminum, and do a good inspection on it. Make sure it's not cracked or broke or anything. And it takes a little bit of effort, but you need to pull that off, and then you can put this plate on. Something that really makes this whole job a little easier is an item I built here. Now, this stool is basically some 3/4 inch plywood. You get some pieces and you cut some notches in it, and then you take your nail gun and pop a couple nails in it, and then run some screws in there, and it'll hold together real nice. Now this is just a seat, okay? It's just a stool. I've taken one and modified it. I've cut a hole in the center to fit the front end of that transmission down on there, and then drilled some holes in it and put threaded rod in to match up with the mount holes on the transmission housing. You definitely want to take your bell housing off to make this a whole lot easier. But once you get everything set up, it's real quick and real easy. Since this thing only weighs about 40 pounds, you just pick it up like so and slide it down onto the studs and run a couple nuts and bolts, or a couple nuts and washers down on it to hold it down. And it makes rebuilding it a lot easier. Well, rebuilding a tail shaft, or any work you got to do on a tail shaft, is made a lot easier by doing this. You can pull this shaft off of here. I actually put it in the vise because it was on there pretty tight. But we'll get this run down here, and I'll kind of show you what we've got. I'm just going to put 2 on there for now because I'm not doing any real work to it. Okay, so the yoke, of course, is loose. So it's just comes right off, but you're going to have fun taking it off the first time. Okay, so we can take this plate off and I'll show you what we've got in here. We'll see if we can round up a magnet and an Allen wrench to get that off.